What's going on, guys? Coach Drew here. So I want to go over today a very simple but probably one of the most important movements in boxing, and it's a footwork movement that we call the pivot. And what the pivot is simply repositioning yourself from one position to another with one simple movement or positioning of the foot. And all we need for the drill that I want to go over today is one cone, a simple cone, or if you don't have a cone, you can use, if you just need a marker. You put a cup in the middle of the floor. If you have a glove, put a glove there, or a shoe, doesn't matter. You just need a marker here. And what you're going to do is you're going to stand with the cone in front of you, and you're going to step to the outside. You're of course going to start in your fight stance, because everything starts and ends in your fight stance. You're going to get in your fight stance, and the cone is going to be right in front of you. What you're going to do is step to the outside of the cone, and then you're going to pivot to the next wall. So what I want you to think about is going from wall to wall to wall. So now I'm positioned against the next wall in the room here, in my fight stance, and then I'm going to step to the outside again, and pivot again to the next wall. And I'm just going to continue that move, that motion, until I get back to my starting point. As you get more comfortable with this, you can add a little bit more to the drill, to the movement. And so what I like to do is start a few feet away from the cone. And again, in my fight stance, my hands are up, my elbows are close to the body, my chin is down. I'm going to move up to the cone, step to the outside, and go to the next wall. And the reason I use the wall to wall to wall reference is because it helps to alleviate the confusion that I see a lot of people have when it comes to the pivot. And that confusion is they either pivot way too far or they don't move enough. So when you do the move, I always like to use the walls as my point of reference, because if I go, I'm facing this wall over here, if I pivot and I'm facing this wall, then I know I've moved 90 degrees. That's a 90-degree pivot, turn. And then I go from that wall to the next wall, it's another 90-degree rotation. So what that does is it keeps me consistent as I move. And then, so the reason for the pivot is if someone's coming at me and they're trying to take my head off with a big hook or an overhand right, if I just stand in place and duck, chances are, even if I make them miss the punch, they're going to be right here on me, and the second, third, or fourth punch will get me. So what I want to do is I want to duck and pivot to reposition myself and either put myself in a position to counter or move, and keep moving with it, right? Or maybe I'm moving around and I'm getting close to the turnbuckle. If the turnbuckle's right here and I've got someone coming after me, if I don't move and reposition myself, I'm going to get trapped and I'm going to take damage. So that pivot, I'm going to step and pivot out. Now I'm back in the center of the ring, okay? But again, a lot of people either over pivot and they end up off balance, or they don't move enough. And again, you want to start in your fight stance, pivot, and in your fight stance. So use a cone and start on the outside, step, pivot, wall to wall. Again, as you get comfortable with the movement and you feel the balance, then add a little bit to it. You can pivot and then throw a combination. 1, 2, 3. Pivot, head movement. Pivot, 1, 2, then do some head movement. You're gonna get out of it what you put into it. But for the beginner, start very basic. Start right here in place. Wall to wall to wall. Everything starts and ends in your fight stance.